I've asked some of your favorite geoguessr content creators, World Cup players, and many other integral community members their opinions about geoguessr related questions. Today, we'll look at why geoguessr pros play the game and how they got good. So, let's get right into it.
Get in! Come on!
What got me into geoguessr in the first place was during lockdown. I watched a lot of creators like the Sidemen, Geowizard, and it got me into playing because there wasn't really much going on.
I started playing GeoGuessr because I saw GeoWizard's videos, and then I saw Peter's videos, and he was actually teaching you stuff. So I took Peter's videos and started playing.
Obvious answers like geowizard.
I mean, obviously, geowizard I have heard of.
I got into playing GeoGuessr through watching GeoWizard mostly. Like, yes, I'd played a few times before, but that was really the reason. I was definitely just intrigued by no moving. When GeoWizard played no move, and he like got Eswatini on a game where he didn't move around, I was like, okay, this is really cool.
Because geography is cool, and I work in this domain, so it's a logical game for me.
I've always been a geography nerd, and I majored in geography at high school, but didn't pursue it as my academic career. So I wanted to find a new outlet for my passion for geography.
I've loved geography my whole life, and it's something that I've just really had a passion for ever since I can remember. So when I discovered GeoGuessr, I was thinking like, this is the coolest game ever, and I just wanted to play it nonstop. And yeah, here we are 7 years later.
I played GeoGuessr mainly out of like a love for geography, and then when I discovered GeoGuessr, I was like, yeah, I like this.
From a very young age, I've had a special interest in geography, and then during COVID, I found GeoGuessr sort of the ideal game to fulfill that sort of passion.
I started playing geoguessr because I am kind of a geography nerd, I guess, in a way. So I felt like I was decent at geography, and I felt like if geography game would be fun. And when I ended up having a lot of time, I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna put a lot of time into this. This could be fun.
I've always been interested in geography since I was a kid, and I've been pretty much following Street View updates since Street View launched, and I just stumbled upon the game one day and got addicted.
While some people had long-time passions, others wanted to see the world.
I play GeoGuessr because I don't know, I've been hooked on it since I started, to be honest. I've just always played it. I just really enjoy looking at so many different places in the world. And it never gets boring. There's always something new to find.
I feel like I started playing geoguessr because I was just like really curious about the world, and just like I think learning's always been like really fun, and like learning new things is always like a fun thing to do, especially when you combine learning with like competitive.
Well, when I started, I think it was because I just wanted to look at pretty landscapes and pretty cities or whatever, and I think to some extent that's still what keeps me interested.
It's very fun, and it shows you the world in an angle that you haven't seen before, an angle you don't see in like the news or something, and the way that it turns it into a game as well. Addictive to play, and it's entertaining to see the world around you.
So I do have a passion for just finding out things about the world. While GeoGuessr caters to that, the game element of it makes it also slightly addictive. But I think more than that as well, it is really the community that keeps me so connected.
And like GC said, no matter why people started playing, the community is what keeps them around.
And I guess also a big part is just all my friends now from the geo community, so I can't escape.
Then I found Twitch and just fell in love with the community and everyone who hangs out there and plays all the time.
But I kind of just stumbled upon the community right around the COVID lockdown. And then I just kept playing because now I just have a lot of the friends in the community who I don't necessarily want to leave.
I guess I started playing it because the kind of weird knowledge that you use were interesting. But the community aspect is what makes you stick around for a long time, I think.
And finally, there's those people who just want to learn everything.
Yeah, I think I started to play GeoGuessr because of wanting to learn more about the world, and just because I like seeing cool looking places and whatever, and discovering stuff. What I played for now is for all the community and for also being competitive.
And why do I still play?
I guess because I'm still having a lot of fun with the game, and there's still so much to discover, so much to learn, and I just really enjoy that.
I feel like GeoGuessr is like a really interesting game in that there's so much to learn. It's like a game that has like an infinite ceiling almost, and to see this sort of impossible, daunting challenge ahead that is like, yeah, I'm never going to like conquer the game in a way, but still be able to sort of take a crack at it, I think is kind of interesting.
While we're at the topic of learning, there's three main ways pros get good at the game. Firstly, there's the mapmakers.
I try to approach it in a way that I learn a country by country, one by one. So I'm much more of a region guessing person than a country steer person.
I get good at geoguessr by most of what I do is just mapping, like on mapmaker.app. I like occasionally play, like I'll play duels just to like be good at like that sort of format in terms of like competitive, but most of the time I'm just like on mapmaker.
It's a mix of lots of things. It's a mix of just playing the game and it's also like a bit of map making and just exploring Street View.
At first, I thought it was just through playing a lot, which does help with vibe guessing. But over time, I found that mapping and clicking around Mapmaker is the best way to get good because you get a really good sense for where coverage is, what coverage looks like.
Mainly map making and just going on Street View for hours and just clicking around random places that I thought looked interesting or whatever. The main benefit I get from map making is, I think, is like being able to recognize certain like relatively niche places.
I mean, I probably use map making app and just coverage tracking more than a lot of other players because I just find that more enjoyable. And then also talking to other people who are good because it's great to share ideas and you just kind of learn quicker, I suppose.
Then there's those who read a ton of guides.
For the longest time, I didn't have to do much since I just streamed the game. People would come in and teach me things that they had learned. So I was just kind of collecting all of Twitch chat's knowledge. More recently, though, like if there's a specific country I want to learn stuff about, I'll check Plunkett, I'll check the meta library, see if there's anything like immediately helpful in there, and then I just grind that country a lot.
Learning new countries, I guess I just play maps of those countries, try to study them a bit beforehand, learn from documents, Plunkett guide, whatever.
I'm kind of the type of player that likes to learn a lot theoretically, then practice a specific country. So I'm not the type of guy to just spam games. Instead, I try to learn everything I can and then play a few games.
And finally, there's those who just spam games until they get good.
There's like no get rich quick for GeoGuessr. You know, there's like not like 10-minute abs that everyone is on YouTube looking for. You know, it's actually something you have to sit down and like play a lot. And honestly, the best way to play is to just play. Yeah, the more you play, the more you learn. The less you play, the more you forget. Type of thing. It's like a language.
Mainly for me, it's just a matter of grinding. Like, I haven't done too much specific studying of documents and things like that, but like just playing the game tons for years is how I've gotten good.
I just played. I have the kind of personality where I just play. I don't practice actively. I never have for any game.
By playing a lot, but I don't play like others because I play Counter-Strike with no brain.
I typically just play a lot. I haven't really had a real training regimen or way to learn. I just have played a fuck ton of GeoGuessr in my time.
Interestingly enough, most of those who have practiced moving also belong in the latter category.
I'm a firm believer in playing a lot of games and just repeating until you just have something really down, whether that's a country or whether that's the world map. Like, if you play a lot of games, you end up seeing places. And once you see places, you just get so consistent. I'm seeing improving on that. And I think also it definitely stands to reason, like, I instantly leveled up my gameplay by learning to use the compass a bit more. And so, like, just having like a holistic approach.
I think there's two main ways for people. It's like either they study without playing or they just play. I guess some people do that more than me. Like, just zigzag, just playing 12 hours every week, like for a day every week. Like just spamming games and then, passively learning. I feel like I do that a lot or like at times. At least that's the main way I learned, like, moving for most of it until I had to practice seriously. And I feel like I'm kind of lazy in that way. Like, I don't study in depth a lot of things, and when I do, it's more like I like to do quizzes to learn like moving things, learn area codes, learn subdivisions.
I mostly just play. I'm not somebody who trains a lot. I do have specific things I like to know, and I will go through a routine of consolidation where I'll kind of do something a lot until it feels like it's stuck, and then a couple of days later I'll realize it hasn't stuck, so I'll revisit it. That applies to things like certain phone codes, maybe subdivisions.
Many players will learn a lot of clues. I like learning information. The rest is more or less vibes, so I use quizzes and stuff. Then playing and looking at Street View for the rest.
But as it turns out, no matter which way you choose, you will learn something.
There's multiple ways, obviously, of getting better, and it just depends on like preference and what works for you. For me, I feel like a mixture of like just playing a lot and also actually studying and like mapping, looking at coverage is also very helpful. But there's really no right or wrong way, honestly.
The key thing is just keep playing games, but not just keep playing games, like just doing them as quickly as you can. Take your time, look around, get familiar with environments, because there's one iteration of learning where you just learn things, from guides, resources, and you got the other bit where you learn just by playing. You get familiarized with what a country looks like, and you see if any new players are watching this, like you will see that pro players just instantly get the country without any obvious meta. It's because they've been playing a lot of games, been looking around, and they get familiar with what a country looks like, or a region in that country looks like. Playing with friends as well is really good because you get more than one opinion from yourself, and not every meta is 100%. So listening into other people's thought processes or watching YouTube videos would be a great thing to have. Would be a great thing for you. For me, how I improve is I think about the information-based learning. So how do I get better at using information, like learning provinces, learning Kabu patterns, learning how to pinpoint, all that, which probably will apply for moving, but also information-based rounds on no move NMPZ. The second thing I will learn would be a big country. So this will be more down to reading a good guide, spending a lot more energy on this, reading a guide, covering the basics, which generally gets covered by Plunkett. And then my final bit is limited country learning. So countries with limited coverage. So that could be your Mongolias, that could be your Kyrgyzstans, and it could be ones that are small, like Panama, Senegal, and so on, where, like I say, it shouldn't be a priority, but when you keep adding those up, they will eventually be beneficial when one of those countries come up and you can region guess.
That's it for today. Subscribe for next time, where we look at pros best gate kept metas, and let me know if you want me to ask even more geoguessr players in the future.